It is time for another review of Monday Night Raw. It was the 7th of July edition. It was the go-home show before Saturday night's main event. The go-home show before WWE Evolution 2. And it just made me want to go to bed. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. I woke up from a 13 and a half hour sleep. I realised it was 1:15. Ah, shit. I'm 15 minutes late to Raw, and that's what night shift will do for you. What a horrible existence this is. You sleep for 13 and a half hours, and the first thing that you have to do when you wake up is watch Monday Night Raw. You know, it's like waking up from a nightmare, but you're actually not experiencing the nightmare until you wake up. So you've got like a 13 hours of, peace, 13 hours of good living or whatnot, and then you wake up, and that's when the nightmare begins, because it's time for Monday Night Raw, an absolute disaster. But anyway, let's get into the show. So we kick off with the Seth Rollins faction, which is, I guess, a rip-off of Evolution. But it doesn't have a name. Maybe we could just call it Evolution 2. How about that? Since they haven't got a name for us yet, maybe they could just rip off the premium live event. But they come out, Seth Rollins, Paul Heyman, Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Now, I get it. At the moment, Paul Heyman is playing the part. He is playing the role of Ric Flair. But Ric Flair was an actual in-ring competitor. And yes, he did slow down a little bit. But Ric Flair was still very active in the ring when it came to wrestling in his time in Evolution. So I just don't think it's a good comparison. It's not like Ric Flair was mainly just a manager and he wrestled the odd match. Not that I want Paul Heyman to wrestle any match at all, but if you look at the comparison between Ric Flair and Paul Heyman, I mean, there isn't really any. Ric Flair, during Evolution, he probably started to wrestle more when Evolution truly formed. When Batista and Randy came back, Ric started wrestling more than he had probably his entire return to WWE. Ric Flair returned in 2001, but it was probably mid-2003. When we got to mid-2003, from that point onwards, Ric Flair was wrestling more than he was between 01 and 03. So I don't really get it why Paul Heyman is... I get it, he's the older guy, so to speak, but Paul Heyman is just some, scumbag guy that will not pay you, checks will bounce, just a guy that will motivate you and spread lies and gaslight you into believing that, here, you're in a war against the WWF, you're in a war against WCW, so work for free, I'll make all the money, McMahon will send me money, and you'll get bounced checks, you'll check your mail and there'll be fuck all there. That's all that Paul Heyman is, a liar. And I think he's good. I think he's a great commentator, and I think he's done a lot of good in the business, and he's a pioneer for sure. He will go down in the history, certainly a Hall of Fame level, candidate or whatever, but he is massively overrated by some. People treat Paul Heyman like he's a god, and I'd say he's a lot closer to a fraud than he is a god. But anyway, I think that if they want this to be Evolution, why not add a fourth guy that can actually wrestle? And Paul Heyman can still kind of have the whole Ric Flair role if he truly wants. But then you could also have a fourth guy. Of course, they don't have to, but whatever. Anyway, they come out to the ring. Paul Heyman goes to give the mic to Seth Rollins. Braun Breaker just steals the mic instead, and then he runs down Sami Zayn, saying, I don't like his ugly face. I don't like his stupid beard. I don't like his music. I don't like the fact that he's never stepped foot in a gym or he's never played any sports, which I guess is absolutely true. Braun Breaker buries the fact that Sami Zayn just looks like your average fucking flabby homo guy that is going to turn up at some left-wing rally. It fucking is what it is. That's what Sami Zayn looks like. Then Rollins, he's too afraid to take the mic off Breaker, so he gets Paul Heyman to retrieve it instead. He asks Breaker, are you good? And then Bronson Reed tells them, simmer down, folks. Braun's a tough act to follow, but so am I. And he's going to beat the Yeet Man and beat respect into him with the tsunami. This guy's just not good on the mic, is he? And then Paul Heyman gets on the mic and he cuts a promo about Penta. And then Seth Rollins grabs it and says, Well, boys, you covered everything, so I guess there's only one thing left to say. Providence, welcome to Monday Night Rollins. So, yeah, just Seth Rollins not really saying much, not having much to do. And I just... Why does Seth Rollins have the Monday Night Rollins catchphrase, but then also you've got Mommy, Monday Night Mommy? It just seems like there's too many people doing this shit. It's like when Jericho was saying Raw is Jericho, could you imagine if like fucking Dean Malenko came out and says Raw is Malenko? I mean, Monday Night Malenko? It would have just sounded shit, you know? I mean, I don't think people should use other catchphrases, especially when there's some that are so similar. It's like The Rock, the People's Champion. It's not like someone wouldn't have the People's title holder or the People's Fighter. They would like try and steer clear of that because you don't want people with similar catchphrases or similar looks or similar gimmicks, but both Rollins and Rhea Ripley literally have the same fucking thing here, don't they? Anyway, we see Finn Balor in the back. Judgment Day are happy, but Raquel's not too happy with Roxanne Perez. I don't think she wants Roxanne in the Judgment Day. If she doesn't want Roxanne, I will happily take Roxanne. I will open up my arms and I will welcome in Roxanne to my club. It'll be a two-person club, just me and Roxanne. That's all we need. I'll be like the two-man power trip, but only it's a man and a woman, damn it. I'd definitely take Roxanne Perez on my team. She's the only person I need on my team. Give me little Roxanne. But anyway, she's going to take on Kairi Sane. They all leave. The Judgment Day, Balor and McDonough, I guess, or McDonough, fuck, JD McDonough. They want to find out who they're going to be facing for the belts or some shit like that. They leave anyway. Then AJ Styles, like a perv, he is peeking around the corner, looking at Dominic like he's some sort of, I don't know, fucking spicy taco. And then Dominic he pulls out the sheet. It's like, I got a doctor's note, AJ. I got a doctor's note, AJ. I don't know why I'm putting on some weird accent that's got nothing to do with Dominic, but he pulls out this doctor's note, and then AJ disappears, and Dominic's looking under the table trying to find him. You know, a bit fucking corny if you ask me. And that's it. That's all AJ Styles and Dominic are good for. AJ peeking behind the curtain, and Dominic waving this doctor's line in front of AJ's face. That is their whack, you know, for this week's show, 2.5 hours, and that's about all that the IC title's got. You know, this here. Unbelievable, right? First match, Roxanne Perez versus Kairi Sane. Now, I'm not going to lie, I did have to watch some of this on catch-up, because by the time I actually put Raw on, it was like 20 to 2, so I was like 40 minutes behind, so I did like skip some of the entrances and shit like this. So if I'm missing out on any major entrances, or if I'm missing out on any major calls from Cole or what's his name, Corey Graves there, I apologise, buddy. Anyway, Roxanne versus Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane gets the win with I don't know what she got the win with. I can't even remember. It was a backslide to pick up the pin. Aye, good for her. So it wasn't like a dominant win or a clear win. It was kind of like, it was almost like a fluke, you know, one of those little roll-ups where you didn't see it coming kind of thing. So aye, good for her. Then we get Jackie Redmond backstage with Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn basically admits that, here, Braun Breaker was telling the truth. I've never been to a gym, but that doesn't matter. Well, it kind of does. You know, it kind of fucking does. The fact that you look like a bum, the fact that you look like a guy that couldn't... I mean, could you imagine if, like, in the 80s, Hulk Hogan comes out and he looks like Adam Cole, and he's like, it doesn't matter if I've never been to the gym. I'm going to beat the Ultimate Warrior when the title's on the line. No, fuck. You wouldn't beat the Ultimate Warrior because you would look like you'd look like a toothpick. And then we see Sami Zayn, and he's taking on a guy that is absolutely chiseled in Braun Breaker. And how are we supposed to believe that Sami Zayn can win this match? You know, it just doesn't really make any sense. But whatever. Then American Made are in Pierce's. This was fucking god awful. These three cannot cut a promo. Ivy Nile says that she wants a shot. She wants to be put in the Battle Royal at Evolution. And Pierce says, why don't you just cut to the chase to begin with? And then that's it. They leave. They're happy. The dumb tag team don't even ask for a title match, for the tag titles or nothing. I don't personally get it. So they walk away. They're not happy that Gable's wrestling tonight, and the dumb one, the one that looks like a mongoloid, he almost gives away the fact that Americano Grande is Gable, but I think we already know that, so what does it really matter? And then we get the Kabuki Warriors. They come in. They say they want a shot at the titles. Oh, the Kabuki Warriors! Oh! You know, like, oh, we want the tag team titles at Evolution because we the Kabuki Warriors. Ah. You know, like, what the fuck? I don't really care. But, yeah. Nobody ready for Asuka! You know, it's like, what? So they get the shot, and on SmackDown, we see Charlotte and Alexa. They have to win a tag team match, a triple threat tag team match, to get into the match at Evolution. But the Kabuki Warriors don't have to win shit. They just get, put in. What sense does that make? Seriously, I'll tell you what sense it makes. No sense at fucking all. Right, then we get a Nikki Bella promo. Garbage. Just like one of those taped vignette things. Just absolute shite. They're trying to rewrite history. Definitely trying to portray Nikki Bella like she was a much bigger deal than she actually was. I mean, Nikki Bella, both the Bella twins, I mean, come on. Look at who they were dating. Look at who, they were dating John Cena, who has been the #1 guy in wrestling for the longest amount of time. And then the other one was dating Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, the guy that got fucking pushed with the whole Yes movement, and for some reason he got rammed down our throat. So if you think about it, they were pushing the top two guys in the company. And I know I don't really view Daniel Bryan as a top guy, but there's no doubt about it that he did get that rocket strapped to his back. So yeah, these two, coincident? I think not. Right, then what do we get after that? We got Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. Cross attacks him from behind. Then Breaker comes out. This should have been an absolute squash match. Now, it only lasted about, 6-7 minutes, so at least it wasn't too long. But it shouldn't take Braun Breaker this long to beat Sami Zayn when Sami Zayn's already injured and battered. I mean, it just shouldn't, but for some reason it did. Braun wins, though. Congratulations. Then we get the New Day. They're mourning their World Tag Team title loss. They're dressed in black. I don't know what the fuck they're wearing. Honestly, look like cross-dressers at this point. They want a rematch for their tag team titles. The two fat guys, the War Raiders, basically say you ain't getting a title shot even though they don't make the matches. And then Adam Pearce is sitting in the middle and he does nothing. Becky says that Pearce is full of bad ideas. She says he's a horrible person, and so was Big E. So, aye, there you go. Then Becky comes out, and we get Lyra and Bayley as well, and they have one of the, I mean, I don't know if it's the worst promo, but it was bad. It was certainly bad. I mean, it wasn't any good. It was just, I mean, it was shite. Lyra, listen here, Bayley. Becky, you're just like Becky. You're a bitch. And it's like, no, he's all three of these people fucking suck. How about that? How about that? They do suck, man. That's what it is. It's fucking shite. Absolute shite. Right, well, let's move on because nobody cares what they've got to say. Lyra Valkyria did hit 2 Nightwings to I don't know, leave them laying, I guess. Then we got JSO versus Bronson Reed with Paul Heyman. JSO wins via disqualification because Bronson Reed's a jobber. He's not going to beat anybody, but he does hit a couple of tsunamis, and that takes down Jey Uso. So JSO is battered and bruised. Then we get an LA Knight promo, which I completely didn't see. So I don't know if it's because I was watching it on Rewind and maybe just skipped this backstage promo. I don't know, but I didn't see it, so unfortunately can't really comment on it. We then got another hype package. Right, I say another. We got a hype package between Rio and, not Rio, well, maybe that's what we could call them, Io and Rhea, maybe just call them Rio. But anyway, we got Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, both women not on the show. I guess they cannot cut promos, so they just give us this dumb hype package for Evolution. How is this acceptable? Seriously, look at this so-called feud. Look at this so-called rivalry. Look at the build-up, or should I say the lack of build, for this match going in to Evolution 2. It's a fucking disgrace that anybody would sit here and defend this. I mean, what the hell has happened? we had Rhea basically come out and say, well, now that I am finished with Raquel and Evolution 2 is coming, I need to get my priorities straight. Then Io Sky comes out, down, 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 down. Rhea Ripley, you not beat me, you not, mommy not on top. Io Sky on top, I the champion. And then Io says, I want to face you at Evolution. And Rhea's like, be careful what you wish for. And then that's it. And then we get this vignette tonight, and that's it. That's all we get. That's unacceptable. That's unforgivable. It's fucking garbage. Triple H, hang your head in shame. This is bad. This is absolutely horrible. And I do think that Io Sky's world title reign will go down in the history of wrestling as one of the worst, because she hasn't defended Hee-Haw since Mania, and I think she's going to lose when she takes on Raquel. We'll see, but yeah, that's what it is. It's not looking good. Then we get El Grande Americano, who has now been played by Ludwig Kaiser. I don't really know what they're going to go with this. Are we going to get two Grande Americanos at this point? I don't know, but this guy, what are they doing? El Grande, it's garbage. It's not good. It's not fucking good. It's not like they had something great going, so they want Ludwig Kaiser to fill in until Gable gets back. This was garbage. Look at Ludwig Kaiser. They talk about long-term booking. Ludwig Kaiser, for the best part of like 6 months, was just doing backstage little promos during the Raw breaks, right? And then all of a sudden, Gable gets injured and he takes the role of El Grande Americano. But these losers will tell you that long-term booking, Triple H is a god. I love him. I want to suck his nose. These people tell you that Triple H is great. Are you telling me that was the plan? The long-term booking by Triple H was to have Ludwig Kaiser cut promos during Netflix advertisements so nobody even fucking sees them. And then he's going to just magically put on the El Grande Americano, attire and mask. Was that the long-term booking? No. Long bullshit. That's what it is. Long-term bullshit. That's all that Triple H gives us, right? El Grande wins. Nobody fucking cares. Lucha Dragon. What's he called again? Dragon Lee. That's the one. Dragon Lee is a jobber. He's a bum. He's just like the other guy on SmackDown, Rey Fenix. He's just like Penta. Just like the people in the LWO and Legado del Fantasma. They're absolute nobodies. Then we get a Stephanie Fakir vignette. I don't know why she's not on the show, because I guess these people just don't have to work a full-time schedule. They all suck. What can we say? Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman are backstage. Braun Breaker tells Penta, watch how you talk to Heyman. Penta tells Braun that, I am Cero Miedo. Ha! I mean, good for you. What does Cero Miedo even mean? Nobody gives a fuck. Then Gunther comes out. He says that Goldberg's afraid of him. He's afraid of the pressure. But then we get this Chevrolet car, this nice wee red one, I believe it was. He rocks up into the arena. It looks good. He gets out. He slaps the microphone out of Gunther's hand. He decks Gunther, goes for a spear, and Gunther rolls out the bottom rope. So I wanted to see the spear. I guess we'll have to wait until Saturday night's main event. It's weird because I would love Goldberg to win, but I'm kind of scared at the same time to see what kind of match Goldberg's going to put on. Because we've seen some bad Goldberg matches in his older age, and this could be fucking horrendous, but we'll have to wait and see. Then Michael Cole and Corey Graves run down the cards for Saturday night's main event in Evolution. Congratulations trying to sell that shit. And then we get Seth Rollins with Paul Heyman taking on Penta. There was a bit of a low blow in here at one point. Then Seth Rollins hits the stomp. Michael Cole says, oh, the low blow, isn't fair? Who cares? Then, after the match, Penta's down. Paul Heyman then makes a phone call. Then we get Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed walk out. First of all, why the fuck would they need a phone call? They're trying to portray this as if, oh look, Seth Rollins has taken down Penta and now Paul Heyman's given the cue for the heavies to come down and they're going to beat Penta up. They're going to take Penta out. I mean, could Paul Heyman not just have explained backstage, here, when Seth Rollins beats Penta, you guys come out after the match. What was the need for the phone call? Fucking garbage. There's no need for it at all. But you've got losers. You see this all the time, right? If you go on Twitter, you see these people like Fadeaway Media, Elite Rockers, there's some other accounts. Basically, these fucking imbeciles that do nothing all day but, you know, praise and suck off WWE. And see when they see anything like this, see when they see somebody on a phone, they'll literally upload the video or the image and they'll be like, these like shocked eye emojis. Oh, Paul Heyman's on the phone. Who could he be calling? Like shocked face and then fire emojis, he's calling nobody. It's all fucking bullshit. It's to try and make it look important, but in reality, there's nothing going on. Like, they did it with Stephanie Fakir. 2 weeks ago, Raw opened up. Stephanie Fakir was on the phone backstage as they did the Raw opening with everyone arriving. And these fucking losers are on Twitter. Oh, shocked emoji. Oh, she's on the phone. Who could she be calling? Is she calling Vince McMahon? Is she calling the President of America? Is she calling a fucking Domino's pizza? What's she calling? Oh, fire emoji. She's calling nobody. There's nobody on the other line. It's all fake. There's nothing happening. It's just them trying to get you to think, oh, what? Oh, is there something good happening? No, there's nothing. Remember when wrestling actually was good, and you would have Bischoff, and he would be on the phone in his office, but he would actually be talking to somebody, whether it be him trying to sign somebody away from Stephanie in the draft period, or maybe he was talking to Stephanie himself, or maybe he was talking to Stone Cold, or he's talking to someone who's arriving late at the arena, or maybe he was talking to Vince McMahon. Remember when you actually used to get pretty good phone calls and there was a bit of mystique, you didn't know who was on the line? Nowadays there's nobody on the line, and there was no reason for Paul Heyman to have to phone these two fat guys, but one fat guy and Braun Breaker to come out. And then LA Knight appears from nowhere, hits the BFT on Seth Rollins, and that's your whack. You know, that's it. That's the build-up for Saturday Night's main event. Complete garbage. Garbage. Raw was garbage. Saturday Night main event's going to be garbage. Evolution 2 is going to be garbage. It's all going to be shite. Now, I will give credit for them at least trying, okay? Because they gave us 3 matches that in reality should feel important. I mean, they gave us Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed versus Penta, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn. Now, people compare this new group to Evolution. So if you do compare it to Evolution, that would be like getting Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista all wrestling on Raw in one-on-one matches against, let's say, for example, who were they feuding with at that period of time? Goldberg, Shawn Michaels, and let's go with Rob Van Dam. But the only problem is, this new faction is garbage, okay? Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, and Seth Rollins are not Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista. And fucking Sami Zayn, Penta, and Jey Uso are certainly not Goldberg, Michaels, and RVD. So while they felt like they were giving you 3 big matches, in reality, all we got was 3 jobber matches, 3 lower mid-card matches at best, because that's all these guys are. You know, they're not stars, they're not main eventers, they're not nothing. So, it is what it is, guys. Anyway, I'll give Raw a 1, because I do feel like, I like Goldberg's car. Goldberg's car was not bad. Should I give it a 2? Because I did like Goldberg's car. And they tried to give you a bit. I'll give it a 2 out of 10. But I like Goldberg's arrival. And I like Goldberg. I just like Goldberg. Fuck it, he shouldn't retire. And then I will give them a bit of credit with those 3 matches. They tried. But the problem is there's just no stars here. They can give you the top guys that they have. But unfortunately, the top guys that they have aren't worth shit. So, it is what it is, guys. 2 out of 10. Catch you in the next one. Peace.